spell your name for me?
Elie, E-L-I-E.
A-L-E.
E-L-I-E.
E-L-I-E.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
So, Elie.
Yeah.
Very nice. Kevin,
That's it.
nice to meet you. So, you're going to school here too?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And first year?
Yeah, it is also my first year as well.
Yep. And what is your major?
Architecture.
Architecture?
Yeah.
Very nice. And what got you into architecture?
Honestly, it was just like one of our events that we do in high school, just like trying to figure out like your career, your future career. And then I stumbled upon architecture, and I was like, I like designing, and I also like drawing, so I was like, yeah, let's try it out. And so far so good.
Yeah. Well, good. Good. Yeah. Excellent. So, is there something that that you want to talk about that maybe you would like other people to think about things the way you think about things?
The way I think about things.
Like,
Um,
it's
so
like, yeah.
I'm pretty much like a really like religious guy, I'll say.
Yeah.
So to me, it will be Christianity,
Okay.
and then yeah, Christianity pretty much.
So, what about Christianity do you want other people to know about?
I just like want, I guess like people to be more in tune with their like religious side of things, because as a Christian, like we all
Mhm.
at some point are gonna end up dying, and also be living afterlife. So like the main part is just like be aware of that,
Yep.
because like it's coming. It's like death is something that everybody, are gonna experience someday. So like be mindful of that as well. To like where you end up going after death, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where you
Like heaven and hell.
where you end up going
Yeah.
after death.
Yeah.
So, does knowing whether you go to heaven or hell change how you approach life yourself?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. How does that impact how you approach life?
Well, because it's like things that I do as well. I'm usually mindful of like, because like as a Christian, there's things that you do to go to heaven and all that. So I usually try to like abide by the rules, if that makes sense.
Okay. Is it possible for people to abide by the rules and not be a Christian?
Um, as a Christian, like the way to pretty much like abide by the rules to believe in Jesus Christ. So I would say no in a way, because like you have to believe in Jesus Christ to be a Christian, if that makes sense. Yeah.
So, it's not, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like a person could do everything exactly like you do,
Yeah.
and just the act of not believing in Jesus would make. How does that? So, let's say I'm totally opposite of you as far as the only thing that's different about us is you believe in Jesus and I don't. Otherwise, we both live our lives the exact same way.
Yeah.
So, what's the difference between you and I at that point, or what? Am I missing something, or like what does that look like?
So for me, my end goal is pretty much to like make it into heaven, right?
Yeah.
And then the only way as a Christian to make it to heaven is that you have to believe in Jesus Christ. Like because the Bible does says like I'm the way, the truth, and life. And, like whoever believes in me should not perish but have eternal life. So that right there is pretty much what I mean by like by abiding to the rules. So it's like that's one thing that like you have to make sure you do in order for you to like be in heaven, to like make it into heaven. So I think that will be the difference.
So just having, so
believing.
the main difference is just believing.
Yeah, believing.
Right.
In Jesus Christ, yeah.
And if somebody doesn't believe in heaven or in hell, then what happens?
Well, if someone doesn't believe in heaven or hell, to me, I personally think that heaven and hell is real. So like whether you like believe it or not, at the end of the day, you are going to go to like one of these places.
Yeah.
So it's like it's pretty much like something. It's better to like prepare yourself, because like if you do believe in, like if you don't even believe in like heaven or hell, but you still like make sure that you do end up in heaven. At the end of the day, if you die and like there's like nothing at the end, then there's like no, like you didn't lose anything. But rather if it's like there is heaven and hell, and then you pretty much like then make sure you like go to heaven. At the end of the day, when you die, you are at like a huge risk. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if a person does good works throughout their entire life, they're feeding the homeless, they're doing everything that Christians would do, right?
Okay.
In that scenario, would God, I mean, I guess, are you saying that God would not let them in and they would go to hell, even though they've led their life as a Christian, everything but believing in Jesus?
Um,
So I guess I'm
That's
trying to
okay.
say, are you condemning people to? Are you thinking that you're condemning people to hell if they don't believe in Christianity? To be just very
Okay.
straightforward on the question, I guess.
So it's like there's also like people like who like never heard of like the gospel, like never heard of the
Right,
gospel.
yeah,
There's also
great
that.
example.
So yeah, so those ones I'm not sure how. I'm not the judge here, you know. God
Right.
is the judge, so I don't know how God will like judge them. But also it speaks a bit about the Bible, but I'm not really clear on that. So those one I'm not sure, but like if you like heard the gospel but like you kind of ignore it, you kind of run at risk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I think I'm hearing you say too then that if there's a culture of people that have never heard of it,
Yeah.
they're probably not going to go to hell.
No, their judgment will be different.
Their judgment will be
Yeah,
different.
compared to the person that knows about it and just refuse to like follow.
So, what's the best way for us to know that?
About the gospel, is that what I'm saying?
I mean, so is the best, maybe what I'm hearing you say then is the best way for us to know is through reading the gospel.
Yeah.
So does everybody read and interpret the gospel the same?
No, I'll say no. But at the same time, it's like, if you feel there's something that you don't quite understand, it's always better to ask for help. Because there's other people, there's like pastors and all that, who pretty much would be able to help you, like, navigate your path through it, if that makes sense.
Can you think of any examples where people interpreted the Bible and there were bad outcomes?
Oh, yeah. There's been a bunch throughout history. Then one of them was like the Crusades. I'll say that was one of them. And then also slavery as well. That's also another bad outcome. Like people use like the Bible to justify slavery and all that.
Yeah.
So that would be one of them as well. Yeah, there's been a few times where like the Bible has been like misinterpreted.
Yeah. So does that, reflecting on that, does that have any impact on how you believe? When you read the Bible and you say, this is how I interpret it. And I do understand that there's been multiple other groups of people that have interpreted differently and have caused harm.
Yeah.
I think is what I'm hearing you say. Does that have any impact on the way you think about it, the way you look at it yourself?
No, I don't like, because I pretty much don't judge it based on like the action of the people.
Okay.
I judge it based on the book itself, so if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if someone is like misinterpreting something, I'm not going to be like, oh, maybe I should like reevaluate what I'm believing, and or like, no, I don't do that.
So how do we know if we have 10 people and each one of those people has a little bit different interpretation, what's the best way for us to understand who has the right interpretation?
Well, that's actually really easy, because like in the Gospels, it's like the life of Jesus. So at the end of the day, it's pretty much like when you're like living your life, the actions that you take, you pretty much just reflect it on the action that Jesus Christ would take, and it's pretty much like you ask yourself like, is what I'm doing things that Jesus would be doing? You know, if the answer is no, then reevaluate what you're doing, and if it's yes, then keep it up. You know,
And
that makes sense.
Mo here has done the same thing, has thought about this the same way that you have, and Mo has interpreted it the way she believes is true.
Okay.
And she understands it because she's read it.
Okay.
She knows it's true. And she's like, and I know this because I've read it. So it's the same, she's given the exact same answer you are. How do I know? I mean, I'm just an innocent bystander. And I'm going, Mo? Elie? Which do I believe?
Okay.
So I'm an innocent bystander. How do I get there?
How do you get there?
Yeah, because I mean, there's, like I said, 10 people, 100 people, they could all have a different concept.
Yeah, for sure. Try it out yourself too.
What's
You know,
that?
try it out yourself as well.
Okay.
And then obviously, like I mentioned too, if you like stumble across something, always ask for help.
Yeah.
And then as also a believer, I do believe that Jesus Christ will also be able to reveal yourself to you if you like truly are seeking Him.
Yeah.
And so there's that. So yeah, just try it out, and then if you ever stumble on something, ask someone. It's chill.
So, is it really chilly? So if we have a Muslim and they say that they totally believe that what they believe is totally right, and they say to you, Ali, you just have to try, and if you want to believe, Muhammad will show you the way,
Okay.
and that's how you will know it's true.
Okay.
Or pick whatever religion you want. And now you've got a group of people with different religions saying the same thing you're saying, and they're using the same reasoning you're using. And I'm an innocent bystander. I just want to understand which one is right. How do I make that determination?
Okay. Again, by the Bible, there's also a code in the Bible that pretty much that Jesus says, like I mentioned, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father.
And they're going to say the Quran, because the Quran says this.
Exactly.
So
yeah, and then also it's pretty much also like personal experience as well. I've also experienced things throughout my life, being a Christian, which pretty much like where it's pretty much like deep in my belief in Christianity to the point where I'm not going to be like questioning things if like a Muslim comes to me and they like tell me read the Quran and all this as well.
So why do you think the Muslim is a Muslim and not a Christian?
Well, first of all, it pretty much has to be like where you were born as well, and like things that you were taught to. So that's one thing.
So,
yeah, that's how I got for that one.
So where we were born.
What family you were.
I'm hearing you say is where you were born, what your family believed, is probably a bigger dictation of what you'll believe in adulthood.
It's like a big impact as well. So yeah, so like culture and all that, that's a big impact.
Yeah.
But then after that too, it's like, because like at the end of the day, like once you grow up, you pretty much start like making your own start making your own decision. It's like you end up choosing other paths and all that type of thing too. So.
Or you choose to just be a decent human being and maybe do all the good things of that religion has to offer, but maybe just don't have that last step of believing in something. That's a possibility
and then
too.
Some people do.
Yeah.
End up doing that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for me? I mean, so basically, I'm trying to dig in and figure out how. I'm trying to get down to how you know, right?
Yeah.
So when we have other people and other cultures, and they're all getting to their belief in the same way, how do we know we hold the right one? So that's kind of the exercise here with your claim. So any questions for me?
No, not about this.
Not about this. Okay. Okay. Well, good.